Anybody here? Hello, guys. I think we're live.
Yeah. Patrick is here.
Hello, Patrick.
Let me fix this chat.
Turn your screen up so I can see you.
Yeah.
Should I sit on that side?
No, I think it's better because of the microphone.
Oh, the microphone's over here?
No, because you're closer. Because if you sit, you're all the way here to the microphone. Let me. There. Barracuda's also here.
Hello, Barry.
Can you hear us okay? Are the sounds okay? Because we're outside at the beach, so we don't want to be yelling, but also we don't want to...
Turn the screen up so I can see it. Thank you.
Oh, there's a lot of people. Hold on. Mike Ann is here.
Hello, Mike.
Tell us if you can hear us okay. Kerosene Cucumbers is here.
Who?
Kerosene Cucumbers.
Kerosene Cucumbers, okay. Hello.
Mike says, not idea beach weather. What does that mean? Can you hear us okay or no? Bruce Culkin is here.
Hello, Bruce.
Bruce Culkin says, there's horns on those two rocks.
Well, they're not rocks. They're umbrellas, I guess. Some kind of umbrella or something.
Let me show you. You can't see it because of the thing, but yeah, they're umbrellas. They're
planted in the ground.
Yeah.
I know what they look like, but they're not that.
Mike answers, I'd still love to be there too, though. I love the beach.
It is a very nice beach here.
Mike says, can hear you just fine.
Good.
Mike says, not ideal, sorry.
What's not ideal?
Okay, I think that's... Okay, it's Mike answers, not ideal beach weather.
Not really. Oh, maybe where you are, but it was fine here.
It was really nice here, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Patrick says, howdy, Mrs. and Mr. Speck.
Hello, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. Our Sunday night beach live.
Danny Boyd says, I missed 2 minutes.
That's okay. We didn't do anything in 2 minutes, but set it up. And no, you're not looking at what you think you're looking at. They're umbrellas. What would you call that stuff that it's covered with?
Straw?
Straw? I guess it's straw.
The palm
tree fronds.
Yes. Believe in Yourself is here.
Hello, Believe in Yourself. Thank you for coming.
They say Jimmy just finished. Hello there, everyone. Dan says piña coladas? Question mark?
No, we're not having anything like that.
I wanted to have a hot beverage because my throat hurts, but
keep your eyes down here.
But they didn't have any for some reason. Granddad's Junk is here.
Hello, Granddad's Junk.
They say good day, Mexi and Mrs. Mexi.
Can you guys hear the waves crashing?
Sure
or can you only hear the people chattering in the restaurant? We should close that door.
We could.
Yes, we could. They also have music playing inside that I don't think is going to bother us.
Would it be copyrighted?
Huh?
Would it be copyrighted, maybe?
No, I don't even know what that music is. They can't hear it clear enough.
Dan says they're whooping it up in there. No, that's downstairs at the beach. There's like a
there's all kinds of restaurants and hotels and everything along here, and the sound carries. So.
Believe says Jamie said inundating you with dad jokes is the Lord's work.
But you have to have new dad jokes every time. No repeats.
Patrick says, Bruce, Hero, hello. Brenda says, Candace Junk says this won't be one of those weirdo midnight skinny dipping shows, lol.
No, it will not. But we cannot guarantee that since we don't know what kind of crazy people are going to go into the water at this time of night.
Oh, it won't be for us. We
No,
can't
not from
guarantee
us.
these strangers won't be doing that.
And Dr. Speck is upstairs asleep. He's really tired. He's trying to get his sleep schedule back on because he's going back to school in about a week.
Stray Bullet is here.
Hello, Stray Bullet.
Also, Hollywood is here.
Hello, Hollywood. Thanks for joining us.
Bolivia says, what do you say to a frog that needs a ride? Hop in. Hollywood says, good evening. On for a few minutes, working days.
Yep, I understand.
Thank you for being here anyway. Stray Bullet says, what am I looking at? You are looking at the beach and 2 umbrellas.
Oh, yeah, palm frond covered umbrellas is what we decided on it is. It is not what you think it is.
It actually looks pretty good in the camera.
Yeah, it looks like more light. It looks on there like more light than what it actually has.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird angle. How about if I turn it this? No, because that gets more of the. There's more of the glass in there. Did I mess it up?
No, good.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on one second.
No, okay, they want to see both of them.
Dan says, I went to Jersey Mike's today and they sell jars of pepper relish. So of course I bought some.
Of course.
I've never tasted those. Patrick said, drunk and naked maybe.
The drunk part probably. The naked part I'm not so sure.
No. Branda's Young says, for they stray. Slimo's here.
Hey, Slimo.
They say aloha.
Well, we're not quite in Hawaii.
Wrong city, darling. Wrong city.
Although there is Ola in that word.
I guess. Patrick says, Stray, you're still in the doghouse. No see ya. Patrick says, there, I see you now.
Yeah, you have to have it in live chat to see him.
Believe says, why is a Korean car the opposite of a Finnish cell phone? One is Kia, the other one is Nokia.
Nokia. Yeah, that's right.
Hollywood says, did you hear about the deal the moron Canadian Prime Minister with China?
No. I haven't been watching anything. I haven't even been turning on the phone to watch any videos or anything.
Granddad says, once enough bus has been drunk, those parts goers will be here with bouncing memories.
I'm sure it would be party goers.
Bavara memories.
Yes, those are breasts.
Triple says, hi Patrick. Josh Homan is here.
Hello, Josh. Welcome.
Hi Josh. Dan says, I've never had a Nokia phone.
Never had a Nokia phone? Where have you been?
I don't think I've had a Nokia phone either, but I haven't had that many phones, so. Believe says, what's Vin Diesel's favorite car? Mazda Familia.
I'm shaking my head, Believe.
Hollywood says, we had 100%, I think you meant to say percent, 100% tariffs on China EVs. Lifted it now, it only 6% tariffs.
Oh my gosh. So you're going to be getting those Chinese EVs that we have to deal with here? I hope they send parts to your country because there's no parts here to fix them.
Dan E-Boy says Motorola, Samsung, LG, Blue, and ZT. Currently back on Moto.
You never had a Huawei? What was it?
Huawei, whatever.
Yeah, the Chinese. I had a Huawei phone. The battery blew up so big in the back it almost melted the phone. But I didn't care if China was spying on me. There's nothing important there.
Hollywood says his company Brookfight Brookfield owns Carios that makes batteries for Chinese EVs.
Oh, okay. So there's interest there. That's why he did it.
Oliver says, don't want their communist garbage here.
Yeah, because he works at a factory there for Stellantis. We have to deal with him here. And when we were buying this Ram Charger, just behind us, this electric SUV went by, and I felt the creeps from it. It's like slowly going by, like trying to sneak by. Then it turns around and comes right back with no noise whatsoever. It's just creepy, those cars.
Dan says, my Blue and my CTE were cheap Chinese phones, and they work great.
For a while they do.
Oliver says she meant to say, or she? They meant to say Brookfield.
Okay.
Okay, Brookfield.
Everybody has an interest in what they do.
His company Brookfield owns Carios. Okay. Dan says, my first smartphone was a Samsung Galaxy, and it was a piece of shit.
That doesn't surprise me at all. They charge you all that money and can't keep the product working.
I've had Samsungs and they're okay. It bothers me that you cannot expand on the memory. Like the memory is an issue with the Samsungs. Barracuda wants to know where you are.
We are in the city of Mazatlan in the state of Sinaloa. It's the tourist city in our state. Usually cruise ships dock here, and then the Americans and Canadians and everybody get off and buy their stuff and get back on the ship. So this town is aimed at the tourists, which makes the people that live here a completely different breed than when the people that we're from. You just have to. They're just a different type of person.
Dan says, I only paid like $60 for it at Kroger's track phone.
Oh, okay, so you didn't lose much.
Mark Salvesio.
Hello, Mark.
And they say, those look like big drinks.
They look like big something, Mark.
Like little umbrellas on the drinks?
Yes.
Kim Biggest Things is here.
Hello, Kim. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy Mazatlan.
Lester Lefebvre is also here.
Hello, Lester. Hope we're not keeping you up too late.
At Zero is also here.
Hey, at Zero.
Believe says.
I'm sure you know Mazatlan, Zero.
Believe says, what do you call the world's most badass sedan? Liam Neeson.
That's up for debate, though.
Dan says, I think I paid like $70 for this model. My Blue was only $22 in 2021. Buff Del Campos here.
Hello, Buff.
Hi, Buff. At Zero says, you're stopping by to hit the like button and laugh at the screen. Sorry. It was here or in front of a palm tree, so.
We were going to do it from our balcony, but we're on the 6th floor, and I don't like heights, so we couldn't really get a good view with, with the waves and everything.
Also, it was a lot more wind on the 6th floor, so it was less about sound. It was more sound.
Yeah, we're in a restaurant that we're not directly out in the wind, which we knew was gonna mess with the microphone. So I guess we're not eating anything here either, because they only have a buffet, and they said for an adult it's over 400 pesos for the buffet, and we ain't doing that.
I wanted a drink. I'm good for it. Mark Salvez here? Was he also here?
Yeah. Dr. Speck is upstairs sleeping. He was too tired. We wanted him here to be on the live, but he was tired.
Okay.
At Zero.
At Zero says, I've been there once. My father had to give up our beachfront property there.
Oh, had to give it up? Is that code for something?
Slimo says, my neighbor ran over my foot with his electric BYD. I was being nice and opened my farm gate and didn't hear it move. But he is a doctor.
Oh, well, that doesn't get rid of the pain, though.
No.
Which BYD does he have? Which electric one does he have? The little one, which we call the Dolphin Mini here, or was it one of the full-size ones?
Patrick says, appreciate the win consideration. Yeah, I hope you can hear us okay and there's not too much noise. We didn't brought our microphones with us.
No, we didn't bring the microphones because you can't use them in the truck. It picks up all of the road noise and then it like cancels everything out. So we didn't know we were going to be doing this.
No.
I'm going to have to center this a little better.
You just want it to look like something, don't you?
No, I just want to. It just has to look even in the.
It's bothering you?
And it just has to look even in the image.
Zero says local food should be good. Yeah, local food is.
Yeah.
Hotel, buffet, not so much.
No.
Steven Andrews is here.
Hello, Steven. The cost of the room comes with the breakfast buffet, and it's one of the worst I've ever had.
Yeah. Josh Homan says medicine is exhausting work. Yeah, it is.
Well, hasn't. I will give him this though. When I told him I had a sore throat, he recommended. That's all I'm going to say. He recommended a certain medicine, and we went next door to the pharmacy to get it, and it has made me feel a lot better. I just have to take it for 4 days, I think.
Yeah. Zero says when he became a U.S. citizen, that's what he had to give up the.
But you don't give up your Mexican citizenship when you become a U.S. citizen, so he can still own the property.
I don't know. I believe says I got 9 out of 10 on my driver's test. The last guy was able to get out of the way. Zero says so. We or I lost my beach property, I would have inherited.
Okay, yeah. The beach property here does go for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, it did before. I don't know with all the problems that there is now if people are even in the market.
Dan says, Crypto Quip, would you call a plastic utensils from Taco Bell Mexican spork?
Mexican spork?
Spork.
I don't think the spork would be Mexican, even if you're eating the fake Mexican food with it.
Lester says, I recognize the ocean, but what are those two things? Did I say hi to Lester?
Yes.
Okay.
They're palm frond. That's blurry? Can you?
It's not blurry.
It's blurry to me.
It's moving.
It looks clearer here. Those are like palm frond covered umbrellas that are stuck in the ground, and then people put their chairs under there, or the lounges under there to, keep the sun off of them.
And that boy says umbrellas.
Yeah.
Grandas Young says, good day, brother. Prack is here.
Hello, Prack.
And they say, Pochos, pongan videos de los carros. We don't have this set up right now. We are doing this live at the road, so we don't have our setup, our computer or anything like that.
No. Uno's here.
Yeah, hi Uno.
Good evening, Uno.
If the umbrella's that big, how big is the drink?
It is very big. Enough for 4 people to be in it, to be swimming in it.
And Zero says, it was weird visiting my lost property, seeing people just laying out in it when I was 14. Oh well.
Yeah. Can't go back in time. We've all tried.
Slimo says, Aussie surfers are a bit nervous going to Mexico. 4 have been robbed and murdered in the last 10 years.
Well, that depends where you go and what you do when you're there.
Yeah,
you have to know what you can and can get away with. You can't act like you own the place.
But
I'm not saying they did, but you just have to be very careful. Especially in Tijuana, the cartel has complete control of the city, so it's just best to stay away from there. I've seen videos about that.
Barricuda says, CEO Cortez, I suck at geography, so I'm gonna go with yes.
That's supposed to be between Baja California and where we are?
I think so.
I think we're right at the edge of where Baja California sort of ends. So I'm not sure if we're right on the Pacific or this is the channel. I'd have to look at a map on that.
Dances. He came dancing across the water. Cortez, what a killer. Stephen Andrews says they look like something Madonna might have worn.
That is very true. Not might have worn. She would probably wear it today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Blue says, why did the Swiss man take his car to a mechanic? It kept getting stuck in neutral.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that.
Okay. It took you a minute.
Yeah.
Uno says, we won 5-0 and my niece's team won 30-0. My God.
Who are they playing?
Girls college
Midgets?
hockey is lopsided.
Yeah, why would they put those two teams together on the ice? I mean, that's crazy.
Good for them though. Good for the Eagle.
Yeah. I mean, good for them. They didn't stop in the middle and say it's not worth finishing because let's see how many goals we can. Did they actually finish the whole game, or did they stop them at 30? No, that's a serious question.
Olive is here.
Hello, Olive. Thanks for joining us.
At Zero says, oh man, what a score. No pizza.
The tide. This is pretty. It's getting pretty close to high tide. It's coming pretty far in. It's getting pretty close to where everybody sits during the day. And the weird thing was we drove in on Friday, and we left Guadalajara. It was cold. We were wearing our jackets, and I was wearing my Uncle Tony hoodie, which at Zero, you got one too. I mean, this is the best hoodie I've ever had. It kept me warm, kept the rain off me. So with the whole trip over here, it was overcast. No sun, no nothing. We did the live on that. We come around the corner because you have to, like the road curves around where the exits are from Mazatlan, and boom, it's all sunny, it's hot. Like there was a dome over this place and the outside weather wasn't affecting it. So yesterday, hot. Today, we get overcast, no sun. Mrs. Speck was sitting outside at the side of the pool in fully clothed. She wasn't gonna go in the pool or anything. And it was just completely overcast. Not cold, but overcast and a little wind. So
Uno says it's Division II college women's hockey and it's a new program. No, there is no mercy rule in hockey.
So there's no ref like in other sports. Well, I guess it's college,
Yeah,
so they're adults.
There has to be ref.
Yeah. The ref isn't going to stop it because he feels sorry for the other side.
Still a kid in 1975. Much has changed.
Yeah, you don't want to do that now. Definitely not. I think there's a curfew out too. The people aren't allowed to be out after a certain time, or they get worse than disappeared.
At Zero says to your jacket comments, brother.
Yeah, I've never had one like this before. I mean, it's heavy and hurts my shoulders, so I'm just gonna have to do some exercises or something. But man, it's kept me warm this whole trip.
Barracuda says, I think it was the Baja Peninsula where all those surfers were murdered. Remote beaches.
Yeah, that was over in Tijuana. I saw one video about one of them. Yeah, it was in Tijuana, and the people that they hooked up with, from where they ended up dead, they were on somebody else's property. You know, the places they shouldn't have been, and bad things happened. So.
Believe says, where was the Constitution sign? At the bottom.
Yes.
Uno says, when you do this long haul drives, do you pour an octane booster in the tank?
No, I don't. I don't think it makes any difference. This is a 1999 model, so it was made to run on the fuel in Mexico, so it's tuned for that.
Dan says, that guy's gonna get him some. Okay.
What guy?
Patrick says, I'm good, thanks. You? Okay, sorry, they were talking to each other.
Here's a big one.
What? Ah, the big message. I thought you were saying. Anyway.
No.
Believe says, I was drinking a martini and the waitress screamed, does anyone know CPR? I yelled, I know the entire alphabet. And we all laughed and laughed. Well, except one person.
Yeah.
At Zero says, I'll have to head out. Dinner time. We're in here with my nephew. See you all later. Hopefully Wednesday.
If there's a live tomorrow on Tony's, I might be there. I might not. I'm not sure. It depends what time. Depends when we're gonna be getting in. So I'll see you soon, Zero.
Bye bye. Thank you
Bye.
for being here. Margaret says, yeah, pretty good and hot. Oliver says, good night, everyone. Are you leaving, Ollie?
He's in Canada, so he has to go do things. Good night, Ollie.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us.
At Zero says, oh yeah, or tomorrow. No worries, brother.
I don't know what happened with Tony tonight, but something about a Geek Squad.
Something up where he set up had issues.
Yeah.
Will the Drill is here.
Hello, Will.
Will says, good evening. It looks nice out there.
It is nice, actually. I mean, it's, what is it, 9 something at nighttime here, and we could go walk on the beach without getting cold or anything. I mean, there's wind blowing, and there's a little bit of a chill, but it's not cold here, even at 9 o'clock.
Believe says, what did one Frenchman say to the other Frenchman? How on earth would I know? I don't speak French.
Or care.
Okay, sounds very rude. Dan says, Tony's computer is in the shop, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but that's not the kind of thing that Tony would do. I think he's more of a hammer type guy.
Ollie says, yes, it's 11:28, up at 5 a.m.
Are you working in the factory, or did you get another job? I don't know what's happening with the factories up there, if they're still making cars up there.
Ono says, is the Ram Charger factory built, or was it like the B100s?
Oh, it was factory built, designed and built here in the factory, next to the Ram trucks, the Dodge Ram trucks. But it's not just a short box truck. That this truck is actually 6 inches shorter than a regular cab short bed Dodge Ram truck, which is why you cannot just throw 4-wheel drive parts on this thing and make it a 4-wheel drive. You have to cut the gas tank down to make room for the 4-wheel drive, the front transfer case to go in there. So people have done it, but it is a bit of work.
Mark says, I'm here for another half, then have to get to bed. I have blood work and then a doctor's appointment.
Oh, I hope everything goes well for you, Mark.
Yes, Mark.
And I hope you get a phlebotomist that can find the vein without sticking you 150 times.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Or when they explode the vein, that hurts
Oh,
like
yeah.
a motherfucker.
Oh, don't.
Oh, sorry.
That's not going to happen, Mark.
Will says, it's snowing and very cold here.
Well, I hope you enjoy the beach. That's why we're sitting here pointing the camera at the waves.
Stop vibrating. No.
I hope Dr. Go comes in here so he can see the waves too. Because he said the same thing, that he's under snow and ice.
It's unfocusing for some reason.
But it may be that the glass here is in the shot, so it may be focusing on that and not on what's out there.
You can make it focus on something though.
I don't think you can make these phones focus on anything.
Anyway, Believe says a flat earther's only fear is sphere itself.
I would think they would be fearful of falling off the end of the earth.
Patrick says the BFH scene was epic.
Yeah, that was funny. You know, I pretty much told Tony that you should write more scripts like that and act them out. His funniest videos was doing something like that, just acting out, you know, whatever. So I'd like to see more of that.
Muno says, I cracked the screen and can't push the buttons. What happened? Are you okay?
on your phone?
I guess.
Your phone has buttons on the screen?
Yeah, when you.
Those aren't buttons.
Well, you can't push the screen.
No, you don't have to demonstrate.
Why? Long Range Garage is here.
Hello, Lone Rich. Welcome.
Dan says, Tony is a better mechanic than me, but I can work on more different stuff than he's willing to.
Well, if you're willing to work on newer stuff, that I can understand. I can also understand he doesn't want to deal with it. Nobody in their right mind would want to deal with it.
Will says, for the Ram chargers down there, are you able to feed through dual exhaust, or is it the gas tank in the way?
Well, the gas tank is pretty much the whole left side of the truck. So I don't think you want to put exhaust under that. Would not be a good idea.
Hollywood says, Windsor building, Pacifica, Caravan, Voyager, and launching Hurricane Charger. EV built to order, Brampton is still idle.
Okay. Well, I thought with the tariffs that they would start building all of that stuff in the U.S., but I don't know what Stellantis is actually doing.
Dan says, cold as fridge here.
Frig.
Oh, frig.
Yeah. That's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Sorry, Ono. Barracuda says, I'm dripping with sweat.
Other side of the world.
Yeah. Long Range says, just cold, no snow, thank goodness.
So no cleanup work.
Yeah. Mark Sylvia says, to Mexican Spec, I hear you on the pain. Last time they couldn't find a vein, I had to draw blood from the top of my hand.
Ooh. Oh, I don't like when that happens.
And then they say getting older sucks.
I had one phlebotomist put the needle in my arm and then tilt it up so the needle hit the other side of the vein for absolutely no reason. Yeah, that didn't feel good.
Yeah, let's stop talking about pain, please. Give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Barracuda says, well, almost dripping with sweat. Dan says, we had a dusting this morning, but it melted off.
Good.
Kim says they are not afraid of falling off the edge because they believe they are the center of the universe.
That is absolutely true, Kim.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Which most people do these days.
Long Range says, yes, it does, Mark. Hold on. Dan says, I work on a boiler, washers and dryers, and consumer electronics and computers.
You always have work, Dan.
Dan says, Stellantis is sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
We will see. As soon as they bring out the V8 Chargers, if they can keep the prices in line. I mean, I saw in TK's garage that they're planning on the new Hellcat is going to cost $140,000. Who's going to buy the car? And then it'll probably just get stolen anyway.
Steven says, looking at pictures my grandfather took driving in Mexico in 1961. Wish it was still that easy.
Yeah. I would love to see those pictures to see what kind of cars were driving around in 1961. What kind of cars people were able to buy at that time, because the economy was not good anywhere at the time, actually.
Bob Del Campo says, cold here too. We didn't go to the shop tonight.
It's better to rest on a Sunday, Buff, and get ready for the next week.
Believe says, I told my friends she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised.
I've seen that look. It happens here in Mexico too.
Yep. Long Range says, you guys take it easy. I'll catch you on the next one. Tired Mustang kicked my butt today. Back at it tomorrow.
Okay, Lone Ranch, take it easy.
Thank you for being here. Dan says, drug dealer's car. Which car?
Which car? All of them?
Yeah. Mark says, I still haven't changed my tire on my truck yet. Hopefully I will after my appointment tomorrow, as long as I'm not too tired.
Yeah, how much blood are they going to take from you? Hopefully not all of it.
Stray Bullet says, I drew a picture of Mazatlan. Is that the picture? Mark says, it's minus 11 Celsius here. That's cold.
At least it's not minus 32 like the other day.
Yeah.
Got to look on the bright side.
Ono says, BT minus 50. Is that a Ranger?
Dash 50, the truck we looked at today. The Mazda. The one I took pictures of.
Is that a Ranger again?
I don't know, Uno. I looked at the dashboard to see where it was made, and I was looking at it from an angle, and all I could see, there was 17 digits that should have been on there, but it looked like they were all scratched out, like there was like patches, like I don't know. It's hard to. I didn't take a picture of it. It was hard to explain, but maybe when you look directly on, you can see numbers and letters, but I don't know where it was made. I don't know if it's a Chinese truck that they're putting the Mazda name on. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to do some research on it. I was told that they're pretty much sold in Australia, and now they're bringing them here. So some of the guys in here from Australia might be able to answer that. It's a very interesting looking truck.
Dan says, wish it was warm here. I'm getting time to work on stuff. Bob Del Campo says, in 1961, we had a 1956 Ford Station Wagon.
Right. You know, you're not going to buy a new car, but here in Mexico, you know, if the economy wasn't that good in the U.S., it would be even worse in Mexico. So, you know, I'd like to see what kind of cars were on the street at the time. Probably the 57, 58 Fords, a lot of those.
Sorry. Mark says 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Merkin. Granddad says that's the biggest problem with getting older, being tired. Dan says to believe. Are you a stand-up comic or something?
Granddad, that's what Snickers are for. They satisfy.
What? Believe says to Dan, no, great humor is often born of pain. The divorces didn't help, and yet they did. Dennis Edwards is here.
Hello, Dennis. Thanks for joining us.
Mark says the current Mazda BT50, third generation 2020 to present, is not a Ford Ranger. It's now based on the Isuzu D-Max platform.
Really? Since when did Mazda and Isuzu come together?
I'm not, but I'm very upset about my team. I really want to.
Is it through the Ford connection? No, Isuzu was with Chevy. So how did Mazda and Isuzu come together? Anna.
Sorry. Granddad says, believe 2 divorces, that's out of control, and that must have stung the pocket. Believe says to Dan, I did make the promoter of a speaking contest very angry once by dropping a one-liner, and you would get the hard case in the front row to laugh. Believe says to Granddad, it is.
I've never had a divorce, so I don't know. Don't plan on it.
Tavo's here.
Hello, Tavo.
Hi, Tavo. They say Mazda, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Isuzu are all together to some degree now.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know Mazda had anything to do with Nissan. I know Nissan had Renault mixed in with it, that we had those here.
Patrick says, I can't imagine 2 divorces, holy hell.
Yeah.
Dan says to believe, here's one I came up with. If your house of worship needs the police to come out and block traffic so that the congregants can get out of the parking lot, what? Then your God is not D1. What?
God should be doing the traffic.
Okay. Mark says Mazda and Isuzu formalized their major pickup truck collaboration in July 2016. agreeing that Isuzu would produce Mazda's next generation BT50 pickup for global markets, excluding North America.
I've never seen one before driving around, so I think they just came to this country. That's why I took pictures of it, because I've never seen one. No pickup with a Mazda emblem on it here.
Sorry. Mark says this marked a shift from Mazda's previous Ford partnership and resulted in the current Mazda BT50 being built by Isuzu and the D-Max platform in Thailand, in production starting around 2020.
Well, I'm glad it's not Chinese, at least.
Believe says that Hardkiss was a pro broadcaster from Florida. The one that I've never met a line I didn't say thank you for. Patrick says, hey, Believe says, Dan, parting of the Red Sea. Uno says, I can't see that Mazda selling. US or Canada even, unless they make a Raptor fighter.
Yeah.
But the BT50 competes against Ranger, Mav, and Colorado.
Right. It's the mid-size truck. It's not gonna compete against a Raptor. But you never know. There may be people that are, Mazda people and they want a truck. You never know. Mazda trucks have sold for generations.
Uno says, and the Subaru and Hyundai too. Hyundai.
Yeah.
Dan says to believe George Carlin married a girl from a high school. Believe says to Dan, George Carlin's humor was brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Dan says, yes, he and Pryor are my favorites. And stay right.
Yeah.
Uno says Ranger is a Raptor now.
Well, they do have a Raptor package on it. But when people think Raptor, they think full size.
Strebule says Ford Courier was a Mazda.
Yes, it was. From the beginning.
Stable says Down Under, BT50, and Ranger were the same platform until recently. But many preferred the dearer Mazda because superior quality was very obvious.
That's weird. If they make them in the same factory, it should be the same quality.
Dan says, and Rodney. So still right, Pryor and Rodney.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Patrick says, Carlin is one of those comics 20 years later you still laugh at. He was just right.
After he changed his style of comedy.
I'm a... Sorry, my throat hurts. I like Pryor more than anything. Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Believe says to Dan, take my wife, please.
Way back. That's a call back from way back.
Dan says, my wife is such a bad cook that the flies in the yard all chip in to fix the screen on the kitchen door. Straybola says, does anyone remember that rotary Mazda pickup?
Yeah, the Repu.
That was some reason the Mazda version was nice. The Ranger was a cheap, tacky version, better quality interior materials and equipment, etc. Believe says, I like Dave Chappelle too. Kind of. It's okay. I think you like it.
Yeah.
Dan says, Sister Bullet, I think all Mazdas were rotary in the early 70s.
No, they weren't. No, they were not, Dan. They came with piston engines, and they also came just like the Couriers. And you had to, if you wanted a rotary, you could get it. But no, they sold Mazda trucks alongside the Couriers with the same piston.
Brandon says, Dan, that's funny, but I guess it's just a joke. Dan says, I never listened to any Chappelle. Need to check him out.
I like comics that when they're telling, because Chappelle tells stories, you don't know where it's going to end up or where the punchline is. Some comedians you listen to and you know exactly where they're going because it's obvious. they get a little boring.
Also, I like Fluffy. I like Fluffy a lot.
Yeah.
Josh Showman says not all, but some models. Trevor says the courier wasn't Dan. Dan says the grandest junk. Rodney Dangerfield. Una says rotary couriers existed in Canada.
Not in the U.S.
Dan says a straight bullet. Don't believe so, but it was primarily badged as a Ford. Believe says I remember when Eddie Murphy was funny.
Well, you remember when Eddie Murphy was doing stand-up, which he won't do anymore. He just won't do it. Did you guys see the Netflix, I guess, documentary that he put together? It was interesting from his point of view of what's going on. He's more interested in staying home and taking care of his kids and grandkids and whoever comes to the house. Although I think he is still doing movies when something comes along.
I wonder if I can whistle my way into a drink.
But I don't think he needs to do anything. I don't think he needs any money. Do what?
If I can get him to get me a drink.
Oh. I don't know. 21 people here. If you're here without having commented, please tell us who you are so we know that you've been here and we can thank you. Lurkers.
Mark says Eddie Murphy's Raw stand-up show was a turning point. He seemed pissed in that show.
Yeah, there was the second one he did was the second one Raw, where he was turning people in the audience against, against their husbands against wives, wives against husbands, stuff like that. I didn't think that was cool on his part. Greased
Monkey is here, and they say, I'm here. I just arrived back.
Hello, Greased Monkey. Greased Monkey.
Greased Monkey.
Thank you for coming.
Why is the camera still doing that? Hold on. Let me try and fix that. I don't like it when it does it. Stop it. Stop doing that. Stop on focusing.
Okay, that's more in focus.
It just keeps doing it. Patrick says Chevy Chase turned out to be a straight up Richard head to everyone. Richard head?
Dickhead.
Sorry. Steven Andrews says send email with some photos.
We're not where we can do that, Steve.
We can't access emails
no,
right now.
because my phone is the camera right now. So unfortunately. So we'll have to look at it when I get home on my computer. Sorry about that.
Mark says, I just learned tonight that if I SMS someone, it displays my name. I found how to turn that off.
Really? You can become anonymous? Anonymous?
Chris Monkey says, -10 below up here tonight in northern Minnesota. You have a nicer weather. We do, actually.
Much nicer. That's why the camera's pointing at the ocean, so you guys can see what we have down here. I mean, not the brag, but you guys that are in the cold, you don't get to see the beach very much.
You can have a hot drink, sit in front of your fireplace, stare at the screen, and imagine that you're here with us.
Yeah, don't close your eyes. Just. Sorry, we can't get you a better vantage point. But we're sitting where we are because the walls around here are blocking the wind, so you guys can hear us instead of just the wind noise.
Stray Bullet says, yeah, what happened to Chevy?
He happened to Chevy.
Patrick says damn, 10 below. Then Fahrenheit, I'm assuming? Steven Andrews says, that's okay. I figure you could not see them now.
Okay. Yeah.
I just realized they have Chinese music playing and they have Chinese decorations up on this. the ceiling. That must be a Chinese food night.
Well, don't care. We're not paying 400 pesos.
I just want to drink, man.
You're gonna get this. Let it go. And get out of control.
Patrick says Chevy was hated by everyone that worked with him. Chris Monkey says yes, minus 29, wind chill tonight, lol. Whiskey keeps me warm.
Yeah, you get warm from the inside out. We don't need that here, so don't want to do that.
No.
In the summertime, this place is jumping. You can't even get into the pool. But I looked out from the balcony today in the middle of the day, and there was 5 people in the pool. That's something we've never seen before.
Well, it is January.
Yes, it's January. And in this town, the tourism is way down. So when I look around this place, and it's basically local people that are coming here, that tells you about what's going on in this town. But we just ate at a place. It was like they serve traditional Mexican food, and they have a 2-for-1. The funniest thing, they had a sign out in front in English that said, "Are you an alcoholic? We can help. 2-for-1 drinks."
From 6 to 10 or something.
Yeah, during happy hours. You're an alcoholic? We can help. Happy hour.
Dan says, I think Chevy Chase has antisocial personality disorder.
That's possible.
Mark
Or he has
says,
the biggest ego in the world.
Mark says, on Google Messages, click on your pic, your profile, then under your name, it says show your name and picture. You have 3 choices to set it up to people, your message, only your contacts, and no one.
So I'm not going to know who you are when you send me messages anymore?
Stray Bullet says he probably got teased in school because he was named after a car.
Yeah.
Dan says,
And the base model car too, the cheapest car on the line.
Dan says people with APD can still be funny and charismatic. And Dan says ASPD.
Yes.
Chris Monkey says, how long are you staying? You're on vacation?
We're leaving tomorrow morning. We've been here since yesterday. We had Dr. Speck come down from where he lives, so to spend the day with us. And he got here late yesterday. He missed the first bus, so we got on the second bus. But we had a nice dinner last night, had a nice dinner tonight, and he's just tired. So he went to sleep, and I hope he sleeps through the night. Because he's been on vacation it'll be about a month he's on vacation, and all he does is play video games in his room. So he's going to sleep. He's waking up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he needs to get back on the school schedule, so that's why he's asleep right now. Or he just didn't want to be on the live. That could be it too.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Believe says, I just bought an expensive car only to find the reverse gear is broken. There is no going back now. Oh, I just bought an expensive car.
Yeah.
Only to find the reverse gear is broken. There's no going back now. Dan says, a stray bullet lol your name after a car which didn't offer a V8 until 1955.
Yeah. And he was a pre-55 model.
Mark says to Mexican Spec, I've only sent you messages on Facebook.
Okay.
Dan says to Believe, you should go do an act. Your stuff is funny as hell. The earlier stuff was a little dad joke-ish, but still good. Stray Bullet says, it was probably terrible, Dan. Children can be so cruel.
Yep.
Granddad says, guys, I need to do some work. I will try and pop in if you're still going.
Okay, Granddad.
Good night.
We'll probably be on for a little more time. I don't know if we're gonna do the whole 2 hours here, because we need to get some sleep and get up in the morning and get out of here. If I can even sleep tonight, I don't know. We'll see. 'Cause I did take a nap today. which I desperately needed. I definitely do not like driving tired.
No. Gives me all my candy.
Dr. Speck and I were walking along the beach here, and like next door to this hotel, there's a restaurant there. The name of the restaurant is Chili's Pepper. So I asked him, is that correct? The first word is plural, the second word is singular. So there was a little store there, and I went up and it said 7 keychains for 100 pesos. So I went in there and said, well, what keychains do you have? She says, well, are you gonna buy right now? I said, well, my money's up in the room. She says, well, I'm closing, I'm leaving right now, so it doesn't make any sense to get any keychains out for you. I said, okay, fine. So when we went to dinner, we walked across the street because the place that we ate is directly across the street, and there was another place like that there, and their keychains were 10 pesos each, so I got 10 for 100 pesos, and they're cute little keychains. So when I sell a car that doesn't have a keychain already on it, I'm gonna add this so it can be a little bit of Mexico going with the vehicle.
Dan says, no nap here. I was on Steve Lato's live and I drank a Mexican Fanta orange.
Ooh. That's what Dr. Speck had for dinner. He drank about a third of the bottle and then brought the rest back to the room. He's not big on anything with sugar in it. And that's not because he's studying medicine. He just never was, not even as a kid. He was not into sweets at all.
Stray says the diet has really risen. Risen?
Yes, it's coming pretty close to getting pretty close up here. Most of the area up here where people sit from high tide from last night never dried out because the sun really didn't come out today. So you could see where the line was that the high tide got to. And it's pretty far up. I don't know what that means though.
Dan says, I never understood how someone could not like sweets or dislike onions. I was someone that really loved sweets as a little kid. Like I will eat anything with sugar and everything. But I started having issues with it. Like it started making me feel sick. And I'm not one to just say, nah, whatever, I don't care, I'm just gonna keep eating it. As soon as it started making me sick, I'm like, no, this is not good for me, I'm done. So.
Why would anybody like onions?
Onions are good, man.
I don't get that. Onions are good for what?
To eat.
Keeping people away from you?
No, they're good. But this is the only issue is my humor has a few boundaries. I once said to someone talking about a house that had been destroyed by a tornado, their equity was blown away.
They didn't find that funny? Mark says to Dan, more and more people don't like onions for some reason. Patrick, insensitive much? That's what comics do, Patrick. Love says, I pickle onions and they are so good. I lived in a little town in Oregon that grew onions, and driving past those trucks hauling the onions was not the best time. Steven loves onions and onion rings. I can't have those anyway. I've had them, and I pull the onion out and eat the breading. Dan says, I love onions. If it's not sweets, then it probably needs onions.
Sorry.
Believe.
Yeah, but I thought someone new came in.
I didn't see anybody new.
believe it says to Dan, have you heard of Uncle Roger? His YouTube is Nigel NG cooking videos. Oh yeah, Uncle Roger, yeah, I know him. But his humor is saucy. Stravoli says onions are good with vinegar. Yeah, especially the red ones.
No comment.
Mark says, I would be miserable if I had to make my mom's spaghetti sauce without onions. Josh comments, I generally don't like onions, but there are some foods I can accept them in.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if, like, for Mr. Speck, I make him like the potato soup. He loves my potato soup. And he doesn't know there's onions in it until I told him just now. And he's giving me a look. But I put onions
in a soup, nothing tastes like onions. The carrots don't taste like carrots either, so I eat them. They have no nutritional value, but whatever's on the spoon, that I'll eat it in the stew or the soup.
Patrick says, I was being Captain Obvious, Max.
Yes.
My sarcastic humor or lack of. Straybola says, raw onions are very different from ones that have been cooked. Yes.
Yes, they are.
Bob the Campos, I remember so many trucks full of onions on I-84. Mark says, time for me to hit the sack. I've been fasting for 4 hours because of blood work and now talking about food. LMAO. Sorry, Mark.
I didn't start talking about food.
Have a nice night.
And I don't consider onions food anyway, Mark.
Have a nice night, Mark. Good luck tomorrow. Steven Andrews says, it's okay, Max, I get it. Onions do have some undesirable qualities.
Yeah. Like a very strong smell when you pass a truck with thousands of them in it.
Dennis Edwards says, love to grow green onions. Come on, summertime.
Is that what people call scallions, Dennis?
Yeah. Dan says, to believe. No, I haven't. Believe says to Mark. I've been eating once every 8 hours since June, usually just twice a day. Dropped 60 pounds so far. Mark says, a friend of mine can't stand onions, but will eat my mom's spaghetti sauce because they are run through the blender.
Okay, I gotta ask you guys something I was arguing with my son about. He said when a doctor tells you to take a pill every 8 hours, that means take 2 pills a day because you're asleep for the other 8 hours. What do you guys think? To me, it means every 8 hours is 3 pills a day. 8 times 3 is 24.
Dennis Edwards says, yes, Max, to the scallions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I only ever heard those called scallions in my family.
Patrick says 3 per day.
That's what I said. But he says, no, you're asleep the other 8 hours, so obviously you wouldn't take a pill if you're asleep.
Dan says, to believe, nice, I dropped 20 in 24 and another 15 in 25. Want to drop another 15 this summer and I should be good. Stray says, who sleeps 8 hours? Lester says, I agree, Max, 3 a day.
Okay.
Mark
That's
says,
how math works for me.
Mark is saying good night.
Good night, Mark. We will see you soon.
Dan says, I usually get close to 8 hours.
I wish I could.
Bob the Campo says, every 8 hours will be 3 times a day.
Yes. Because I told him every 12 hours is 2 times a day. 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. That would be every 12 hours.
Steven Andrews says, Booker T and the MGs call them green onions. Mark says, indeed.
So today, Miss Dr. Speck says, well, you should have had the pill before you had dinner. I said, well, you didn't tell me that. You said every 8 hours. I do it approximately every 8 hours, and it is helping my throat. The little pill he told me to take was to reduce the inflammation in my throat, and that helps the soreness. And then the other pill was to prevent the fever. Because I do have to drive home tomorrow.
Then it says, wasn't that Sing band on the radio? That song? What song?
I don't know. Don't get people singing in here. Where's Dean?
I don't hear any songs. Are you okay, Dennis? This says prescriptions here usually say how many per day, not by hour.
Okay.
Dan says...
They probably say both, Lester. Or eat before the meal or whatever.
Sorry. Dan says, I heard that if you deprive a human of clocks and of the ability to see the outside, they'll start sleeping like 12 hours and staying up for 24 hours or something like that.
That's possible. If you don't know the time is passing, you have no indication, then your body doesn't know what to do.
Stray Bullet says, you should take pills after you eat. That is not true, Stray Bullet. You should listen to your doctor when it comes to that. I take medication for my, what is it called? Hypothyroidism, for my hypothyroidism. And I have to take it an hour before anything else. Any medication, any food, anything. With just a little bit of water, not juice, no milk, no nothing. Or it messes up with
because all medication is different and every patient is different.
Yeah, so Steven Andrews says Rumble by Link Rye was Patrick says, oh sorry, I misread that. Dan says Green Onions was banned. Why? It's a great song. What? I have one pill that is supposed to be taken on an empty stomach. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, so it can get into the bloodstream faster.
Yeah. And it messes, and sometimes it messes, if you have it with something else, it messes up
the
effectivity of pill.
Yep.
Effectivity? Is that a correct word?
It is now.
Effectiveness?
Could be.
Sure.
It's late on a Sunday night. We don't care.
Okay. Josh says, I think he meant Booker T and the MGS green onions. I don't know. Then he says it was Link Ray that was banned. My fault. Dan says Hollywood Nights or one of those movies immortalized green onions as music to look for praise by.
People probably don't know the name of the song either if they did it that way. Just the actual notes. Wait, how many people we have in here just jumping 14 to 17 down to 16?
Uno says Volare.
Volare. The song.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
It's an Italian song.
Dan says, don't sing it. Dan says, why would the band Rumble? The song title?
Right. We made it a whole hour without falling asleep.
Did they ban something on the chat?
I don't know. Is there anybody here that hasn't popped in to say hi? There's 16 people. It says 17 now. Ooh. It keeps bouncing around, so I don't know what to believe. So pop in and say hi so we know you're here. Oh, World of Woodchip pops in.
World of Woodchip says, holy crap, other people know about that? Lol. About what? The song? Steven Andrews says, my favorite Booker T song was Time is Tight. Stray Bullet says, I get nauseous if I take a pill on an empty stomach. That's what omeprazole is for. You need to talk to your doctor about that. There may be a way around that, but usually there is. If you need to take a pill at the stomach, there's not much you can do.
Thank you, Grease Monkey.
Grease Monkey's here. Patrick says World War K. Olive is here.
Yes.
World of Wishes is the title is all it could be low.
We're both getting tired. I hope I'm able to sleep tonight.
I hope you let me sleep.
Last night, it wasn't last night, the night before last night, before we came here, I didn't sleep hardly at all and had to drive here. It was a 5.5 hour drive or something. But I made it just fine, not falling asleep or anything, because we were live with you guys.
Also, yeah, talking about that, I wanted to apologize about not being able to finish the live and say bye to all of you. We just had a lot of connection issues going into the city. I don't know what happened. We were even waiting, like, when you entered the city, we were waiting to connect so we could at least say bye to you. But we just did. We sat on a parking lot in Walmart waiting for the connection to go through.
Yeah, you would think that the connection would come back, being that the internet is supposed to be good inside the city. But you also have to think, I don't know if you remember, it was almost a year ago when we had Lester LeSaber's car here. We did a live leaving here, and it's like the signal was jammed for like 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was, on the way out of town. And you also have to remember that that was when the bad guys were coming into this town, so they might have had a jammer on of some kind. I'm not sure, but coming into the town, how could there be no internet service? But it could have been 100 different things with our, with Mrs. Speck's phone, the tablet, my phone, the connection, whatever, but we never were able to come back. So I sent a message to Buff and asked him to tell all you guys that, we made it, and I don't know if he was able to do that in time.
Yeah.
Before YouTube says you can't send any more messages on it because they're gone or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's what happened on that one. So we're gonna see tomorrow morning. We're gonna go live pretty close to when we leave here, and see if we can have a connection. If you see us on, I know it's a Monday morning, but if you see us on, please stop in, say hi, and we're gonna get on the highway, and it should be about a 4-hour drive for us, depending on what happens along the way.
Dan says, I hate being unable to sleep.
I didn't have insomnia. It's just that I had sinus drip, which was making me swallow all the time, and I wasn't able to get over that. I drifted off for a little bit, but I didn't get very much sleep that whole night. But last night, because Dr. Speck told me what pills to take, it really helped, and I was able to sleep, and then I was able to sleep during the day today too. So I think I should be fine for the morning.
Uno says it's 10:12 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
It's also 10:15 here, so at the same time. We're on the same time.
Straight up to Canada.
I believe says to Dan, insomnia sucks. Stray says we understand. Thank you, Stray. Off the Campo says I did, and the stream was still going.
Okay. We had no control over that here.
No, we didn't manage to.
We had no connection, with nothing we could do.
Yeah.
It's just odd. It's just odd.
Believe says, why are there fences around cemeteries? Everyone's always dying to get in.
The fences are to keep the hearses out that are not allowed to go in there.
Hearses.
Yeah.
Steven Andrews says, Elon sends Starlink.
A friend of mine that I spent a lot of time with was he had a lot of hearses. A friend of his would bring him the trade-ins that he took in from when he sold funeral homes all over the country, another car. He told me about a time that he drove one of his cars into a cemetery, and the guy running the cemetery freaked out because he says, I have nothing is on the schedule for a delivery, for an interment today. So he came out, he come running out, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh, I'm just driving my car around, because I like cemeteries. Oh, okay. So you don't have anybody in the car. Yeah, they get really nervous when you drive a hearse and you're not on the schedule.
Uno says, can we get churros tomorrow? I think so.
I don't think they sell them on the highway.
I'm gonna get a matcha. I'm itching to get a hot matcha. Olive says chili here is all bay buff. Bay buff? Stribble says it's Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. Is it?
Is it really?
I haven't been paying attention to my calendar, sorry. Strobel says the fences are to keep the cows out. Dan says I'd rather have a flower car than a hearse.
Yes, but you're closer to the East Coast. Where I'm from, flower cars weren't a thing. They were not used in the California area or on the West Coast. So most of them that we saw from the 60s were from the East Coast, and they were already rusted out or needed so much work. So we never really got a flower car brought to us or brought to him, for him. I mean, he got some absolutely gorgeous cars. The one that I can remember was a 65 Superior that had like 18,000 miles on it. The car was 20 years old. This was in 1985. It was still riding on its original dual white wall 890 tires that were still in perfect condition. It was a sandalwood color with a leather front seat. The funeral director that bought the car says, "I'm not running Superior Funeral Home. I don't want your name on my car." So they deleted all the Superior badges off of it. It was a gorgeous car. We took the car out to a Cadillac car show in God, I can't remember the name, but it's the really nice area of Pasadena, California. And we won nothing. Nobody voted for our car, even though it was the nicest original. It was the nicest modified. It was the nicest car on the premises, and nobody voted for it because it was a hearse. It was absolutely terrible.
Sorry, Dan says, I've never seen a flower car either. I think that's a Chicago and New York thing. I think it's kind of a mafia thing. Patrick says, whites. That was a look. Also, I think they closed the restaurant on us.
I don't care.
But they're cleaning and everything.
Just pay attention to this.
Sorry, but
it doesn't matter what they do. We can walk around the outside. Doesn't matter. They can turn off the lights. We don't care.
Rude. Dan says you all got stiff at that show.
It wasn't a hearse show. It was a Cadillac show. I remember there being a V16 four-door convertible, the Cabriolet, and it was a restored car. He had just come back from a cross-country trip in it. I remember the David Fogg 1960 Eldorado Brougham. We talked to him about his car for a while. It was a beautiful car. Very rare because there was only 101 cars made. The car that won Best Modified, and you're never going to believe this, 59 Cadillac convertible. Somebody took the 390 V8 out and put the four-cylinder Vega engine in it, and that car won Best Modified. We were so pissed off. And it wasn't even a very nice convertible to begin with.
Lester says they don't need fences. The cemetery occupants aren't going anywhere.
They want to keep the living out, though.
Grave robbers?
Could be. That does happen.
World of Witches, the cemeteries need fences because asshole kids and sadly adults too will vandalize the place.
Yes, and they sell real estate. That's what cemeteries do. They sell you real estate. So they have to keep the real estate in the best condition to be able to sell it and maintain it and whatever deal they made. So yeah, they're gonna protect their investment.
Dan says Eldorado Brougham was expensive too.
Yes, it was a very expensive car, made in Italy, brought back to the U.S. and finished assembly. But it was a gorgeous car. Now the story on that car was David Fogg found that car in a garage in Beverly Hills. The car was triple green, and he hated that. So when he had it restored with a maroon color, gray leather interior, and no vinyl roof. Years later, decades later, I saw that car for sale, and it was a certain number, So we knew what number it was, and the history and the registry says it belonged to David Fogg back then, and so we knew it was the same car. The dealer that had the car was representing it as an all original car, maroon, gray leather interior, no vinyl roof, and it just wasn't. We all know the story behind that car, and the dealer was just trying to put something over on somebody. Everybody knew that it came out of a garage in Beverly Hills, the old lady that had it. So he got the dealer that had it got a whole lot of messages, and he took a lot of crap from people that knew he was lying. You can't make up stories about a well-documented car when there's only 101 made. And does anybody in here know why there was 101 made in 1960? That specific number?
Sorry, Bob the Compass says maybe they put the 390 in the Vega.
I seriously doubt that.
Chris Monkey says, what are those pointed things in front of you? Sorry for the dumb question.
Those are umbrellas, basically, like to shield the sun with palm fronds on them, because it looks like an umbrella that's stuck in the ground, and then people put their chairs under it to keep the sun off them in the daytime. They just happen to make them like that. I don't know why it has those things sticking up.
To keep it waterproof. That's to keep it waterproof.
Yeah.
Dan says, boo, I would have kept it triple green.
It was not a pretty green though, Dan. I've seen them, but it's not a pretty green. The car was gorgeous when he showed it at that time in 1985.
Patrick says sticky huts are like kind of, but just the roofs of it. An umbrella.
I mean, it's so weird that the story that he told stuck in my head, and decades later, I know the whole story that he told us about the car, where it was found, what color it was, everything else.
Sorry, Walter Witcher says, I just assumed they were grass teats and moved on.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Dan says, data tag tells the story.
Yep. It has all the information.
That was his Lester, but people are dying to get in there. To the cemetery.
Yep.
Chris Monkey says, thanks Patrick, couldn't think of the name. Patrick says, all good. Dan says they needed to break even on them. Joshua says they look like tiki huts to me. Kind of.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Patrick says, storytime, comics.
In 1959, they shipped the chassis over to Italy so Pininfarina could make the bodies on the Eldorado Bromes in 1959. When they were loading the chassis after they were done onto the ship, one fell into the ocean, so they only made 99 cars in 1959. To make up for that car, they made 101 in 1960, so they could come out with an even 200 for the 2 years. So they had to make up for it. The 59, I don't know if you noticed this, but the flat windshield, all of the styling cues from the Eldorado Brome turned into the 1961 regular production Cadillac. So you can see a lot of similarities there, what Pininfarina did on that car. They can turn off the lights here if they want to. We don't need them.
It's fine.
We'll tell them we'll tilt the chairs back up when we're done. I don't know where that chair goes.
Thing all the way over there. Patrick says delivered.
Okay, great. It's weird the stories that stick in your head after what has it been, 40-something years?
Dan says Chrysler Norseman prototype / model was lost on the Andrea Doria.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, people walking.
Yeah. Walking along the shore. There's no regulations or anything here, I don't think, about you can't be out here late at night, you can't do this, you can't do that. The authorities here have more important things to deal with.
I wouldn't be regulated to stop people walking on the beach late at night.
Like for beaches in California, you can't do that. You can't be out there.
Why?
They don't allow it.
Why?
They don't know what you're going to do.
walk. Walking at night is banned in California. Walking is banned in California.
During COVID, they closed the beaches. They arrested anybody that went on the beach.
Well, no, that's fair because
It is not fair. It's outside. You're supposed to be outside.
No, I mean they closed the beaches here too. I said, like, I understand. It was them, but they still did it.
We're down to 13 people. It's getting late. How about we go another 5 minutes and make it an even hour and a half? Because we're going to be back on tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And I hope I have enough data on my phone. Maybe we could have just stuck with the internet here, so I didn't have to use the data. But oh well. That is very true, Dan.
But Dan says California does not allow anything except maybe pooping on the sidewalk.
Well, there's certain groups that can do anything they want to, and the taxpayer has to follow all the rules.
Patrick says, sounds good, my bed is calling.
Yeah, so is ours. So how are all you doing tonight?
Dan says, gotta run up the house in the morning. Had a little leak which took out some ceiling tiles.
Oh. How come things like that always happen during the winter time when you least want to fix anything?
Yeah.
It's terrible. I think people are going to remember this live as guess what those things are live. Guess what those things are live. Because I know what they look like on the screen. Very pointy. And it's you might think it's very cold here because of those.
Stop. Bargura says, I just googled where you are. Beautiful place. It's just above being in line with Cabo San Lucas.
Probably the same. I don't know, what do you call it? The line that goes across.
Dan says, cheese.
Close, Dan.
Grace Monkey says, my furnace is working overtime. Wish I were there. I wish I were there instead.
Well, I'm glad we're here.
Yeah.
We're going home tomorrow. And it's my understanding, I left my niece to take care of the animals, and she said the dog is sad. The dog looks sad because he lost his companion a couple of weeks ago. I said, no, he's sad because he's been sleeping in Mrs. Speck's room. And when we're not there, he has to sleep in his own room now. So.
Patrick says, good here, been a busy day, house full of kids, can actually hear myself think now.
Oh, that's nice. Everything calmed down.
Steven Andrews says, Madonna's wardrobe live. I think Madonna's?
Madonna.
Believe says, my wife ran off with my best friend last year. I still miss him. Aww.
Yeah.
Believe says, today I asked my phone, Siri, why am I not single? And it activated the front camera. Rude. Lessa says to believe, and that was your best one. World of Worship says, once upon a time, a guy asked a girl to marry him. The girl said no, the guy lived happily ever after.
I don't find that to be true for me. We work well as a team, as you can probably tell.
That thing is called Metro as well.
Yeah.
I think it's like cinnamon or something.
We should buy that for the house and clean the house with it.
No.
Is it pine? Pine
No,
stuff?
I don't know. I can't make notes. Grace Monkey says, I really enjoy your road trip videos. Thank you. We try.
We're having another one tomorrow.
Was that a shooting star or is that my eyes?
But we're very familiar with this road, so we know everything, that's going on with it. I hope you still have enough money in your wallet for the tolls.
I haven't spent any.
Well, it doesn't mean you still have enough. They may have raised the prices and stuff.
Fair.
And I'm not sure how much money I have left.
World says, I saw that on a bumper sticker when I was 14. Stuck with me. Believe says, I told my wife that she should embrace her mistakes, so she gave me a hug. Dan says, I dated a younger girl and she told all her friends that I was still waiting on the phone to ring.
That's no, Dan.
What?
You don't want to use that joke. Not today, anyway. It's only the younger kids that are doing the 6-7 thing. Very young.
Lester says the banter between you two is good.
Thank you.
It's not fake, I'll tell you that.
We were just at a restaurant and we were talking like we usually talk. And the waiter came over and said, "Is everything okay?"
So I just started laughing. I was like, I'm sorry.
I mean, we're in Sinaloa. He lives here too. He knows how people here talk. So,
Believe says, my husband is mad that
they're
I ruined...
flashing the lights at us.
Yeah. My husband is mad that I ruined our anniversary. I'm not sure how. I didn't even know it was today. Daniel Morrissey is here. Daniel Morrissey.
Daniel, we're leaving right now. The restaurant we're in is telling us get the hell out. So we have to get the hell out. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're pretty much done here. So try to catch us tomorrow. You're probably going to be working, Daniel. But we're going to leave here in the morning. We're going to be live the whole way home. You know, just to see what happens. This is Sinaloa, so anything could happen in front of the camera. So who knows what you're going to see when you log in. Really appreciate everybody being here. And we will catch some of you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for being here.